very first game, which will be a Terran versus Terran, and it's going to be our bronze and silver kind of wild card matchup. So our two players starting up here in the top left-hand corner of Acheron Waste is our orange player, not playing in teal because, yeah, well, oh well, who cares. From Team Guns and Roches, it is Fish. And his opponent spawning in the bottom right of Acheron Waste, playing in purple, also a Terran player for Team Extraterrestrials community, it is Donut. As I am mainly a Terran player, I always have somewhat of an affinity for Terran versus Terran. I kind of like it. I like the matchup. I like how it plays out, but at the same time, I absolutely despise playing it. It really it kind of hurts my soul every single time I have to play a TVT on ladder. There's something about my playstyle I cannot engage for the life of me. It just doesn't work. But that's neither here nor there. Be waiting for what our two players here are going to be doing. Looks like both of them are just going to go safe. First racks on 15, as you would expect. We'll have to wait and see what kind of gas timings both players decide to go for. If they're going to go for any tech related, and as I say that, Donut is actually throwing down a gas on 11. So at 11 racks and 11 gas, a little bit early. He kind of skipped an SCV that was unnecessary to skip, but his opponent is doing more or less the same exact thing. Going for more of a standard 12 racks 13 or 12 racks 12 gas, I believe. This 13 SCV is currently building, so we'll be seeing just probably Reaper expand out of both of these players. Nice, easy way to scout out your opponent, and in TVT, it's very, very safe and almost necessary sometimes to go for this first Reaper. Doing anything else can leave you really, really susceptible to any sort of proxy play. Or if your opponent himself just goes, 2 or 3 Reapers quickly, and you don't have your Reapers back at home. And actually, Fish is going to be going for a Marine first, and building a second gas even, before he even gets up his orbital command. So he's definitely going something extremely tech-heavy, while Donut is going for that more standard, just a Reaper build. So we'll be intrigued to see what this gas is used for, and this SCV is right down here. It's likely going to be throwing down a factory here. He has the gas for it, just doesn't have the minerals just yet. So once he gets up to 150 minerals, he will likely go over and make a factory. Just about, there we go. There is the factory there. But this first Reaper is going to be coming across the map for Donut, and he's going to be able to get in and see everything. With just the one Marine out currently and nothing else actually in production, this could be a bit of a problem for Fish. And actually Donut is going for a tech lab behind this. He really wants to get stem out, it seems, quickly. Or he wants like really, really super fast defensive tanks. But a reactor being thrown out on his barracks. But while he does this Reaper is already in, and the SCVs are going to be pulled off trying to catch it. Reaper can't take out a Marine alone if he wants to, but actually he's going to... Nice micro here, actually picking off the one SCV that was already hurt slightly, rather than just letting the Reaper auto attack. So a nice little victory for Donut there. But he is not really going to be able to get much else right now. But he is being extremely, extremely annoying. Almost gets another SCV, and this SCV trying to get in here, be a hero, and take out this Reaper, along with the Marine friend. And looks like there's going to be a star port. So it's going to be like kind of a 1-1-1 build here for our orange Terran player. And in response, Donut is seeing... he has seen the entire base. He knows exactly what's going on over here. I think he's probably expecting to see some Banshees pretty soon, at the least. Maybe even just a medevac drop, since I guess he is making Hellions now. So he's probably going to want to have some defensive Vikings back home. But he is also choosing to expand off this, as the Reaper does hop in again, just to kind of confirm what's going on. Sees a tech lab coming, so kind of would have hoped to see an engineering bay come down pretty quickly for Donut. To fend off what will likely be some early Banshees. But again, this Reaper just poking me here, being very annoying, is actually up to 4 worker kills. Nicely done there by that one Reaper, but the Hellions are out, and the Hellions do a pretty darn good job of just destroying Reapers. And actually, everything I've said is apparently completely wrong, because Fish is going to go ahead and go for Marauders off of this tech lab and a medevac. So... perhaps he's going to use this first medevac to drop these 4 Hellions into the mineral line, and then just some other army units back home. And really, at this level of play, that's all you need. You just need some units. Units are always a very good thing. Donut, he did throw that as engineering bay, since he did see that this tech lab was built by the barracks, expecting to see a Banshee come out of here. But that's not the case. The tech lab got switched off over to the factory, actually. And so it's just the first 4 Hellions in this medevac, moving across the map currently. And yeah, he's going to be able to get in here, but there are the turrets here, so he will have to actually drop over in the side and then come in with the Hellions. But there's not really much back home to fend off these Hellions. There's just the 2 Marines and Marauder, nothing else. A Banshee is in production along with Cloak for Donut, but wow, he's super paranoid about Banshees. He's probably had some bad experiences with Banshees, and he really wants to have a lot of coverage with his turrets and his mineral line. There's absolutely no way a Banshee's going to come in here and kill anything, but sadly for him, it's not going to be Banshees. It's going to be some Hellions in his base, as well as a Whittle Mine and a couple more just ground units moving across the map with a single medevac. But yes, all these Hellions did get dropped, and he doesn't see them yet, but he does now see them. And with nothing really back here to kill it, these Hellions are just going to go buck wild on this mineral line, and in fact they already are up to 4 kills, evening out the workers' kill count, and will just continue chasing down all of these units. And they're nice and lined up now. If he can get over there and make another kill, but a nice little block off here with just the regular units by Donut. Wasn't necessarily what he meant to do, but it worked out pretty nicely for him. However, there are a fair amount of units coming in for oh goodness, Whittle Mine plus the Marines right on top of that Banshee. So the Banshee is killed basically immediately. Not much really left here in Army, but with 2 medevacs, it's going to be hard to actually kill this, even with just these SCVs pulling off. Only 18 SCVs, but there is the tank up at the high ground. I was wondering what the heck they were dying to. So that tank up at the high ground did a lot of work for him. Worker count right now, 18 to 14. There is a second command center red done for Donut. So he's in somewhat of a decent position, but this is a strange game. This is already a strange game. 1 tank done, 2 barracks are producing, trying to produce a bunch of Marines as he can, actually adding on another reactor because he wants still a lot of Marines. But just this Whittle Mine and a few Marines are going to just keep Donut backed up into his base. And with Fish's own tank moving across the map, sorry, looking at chat and not looking at the game. With this tank moving across the map for Fish and the fact that he has medevacs to see high ground, he's going to be able to scoot in and eventually kind of push into his opponent's base here. Second tank does pop out for Donut, so he's going to be able to stay defensive for a while, but there's really, I guess Fish is finally throwing down his second command center, but for the time it's just been Army units. And as you can see in the Army tab right now, it's 21 to 12, and actually moving down here with all these Army units, and the Whittle Mine gets off and kills a lot of these, almost all those Marines, and just the 2 tanks are left now, and actually a great placement by Fish, right between those 2 tanks. There's nothing they can do. They need to unsiege, but as they unsiege, everything else moves up, and it looks like every single Army unit of Donuts is about to die, and with nothing really producing besides single Marines, that 1 tank does go down, so there's nothing but these 2 Marines left for Donut. So a nice little play here by Fish, and it looks like he's gonna be taking this game for Guns N' Roaches. It's just there's nothing produced, and he's on top of Donut's production, and Donut does say LOL GG. So the first game there will go to Guns N' Roaches. A quick 1-0 start for them. An interesting little TBT, but again, this is all level play. This is the kind of stuff you can expect early on, and we'll get into some more standard builds and standard play styles later on in the sets, but for now, that is what we just saw. So Guns N' Roaches, they come out, get a quick 1-0. I'm gonna